In a wayward adventure and curiosity, blurred away from savvy of cool judgment, he oversteps the bounds of reality into a state of altered awareness, overwhelmed by a rapid beginning of a buzzing sensation, a rush, emanating from deep inside him, surging along the veins, streaming euphoria through cells of his entire body. Inside his body was warm pleasure, waves flushing over the now tingling skin, sounding off all the unpleasant feelings. Mouth numb, loose, heavy, eyeballs rolling back from a third toe, unimaginable bliss. He savors the calm explosions of the pulsating bubbles in his head. A magical moment of sheer orgasmic rapture that ends in a lasting sedation, ushering him into a well-being. Covered by a cozy blanket of content, he falls in love with his insidious drug. He begins to repent.
I losing sleep into deep, losing everything I need. Goddamn face off, make me blink. If you want to die with me, sneaking in and physically, don't know how much longer I'll be. Cause the light is out of reach. This side of me is honestly not a sign that I wanted to show. Feel like a different person every day, losing my mind off that motherfucking blow. Keep on playing with me to make sure I'm safe, in case someone trying to take my life. Only one that is allowed is me. People want me to just keep it real, but only killing myself will be honesty. Trauma in my head that taunts me, I can't fall asleep. Only bloody dreams, violent thoughts coming back to life. Back a fucker, you gon' catch a knife. I was worried about the side of me, I tried to hide it but it came to life. Yeah, cause I'm a motherfucking narcissist and a maniac. Fucked up in the head, I can't get it straight. I lost everything that I can't get back. Now I can't function, now I can't talk. Too paranoid to be taking a walk. Yeah, this cocaine and it's whiter than chalk. Yes, it transformed me into a damn hawk. I got too much paranoia to be walking around without protection. If a fucker tries to test me, he's gonna learn his lesson with those possibilities. Have me in crushes, yeah, I'll be stressing. If one day the fans gon' knock my door down, I'm gonna go out with a message. Let it out, let it out, let it play, let it rot. Self-harm on purpose, put the blade up to my heart. Cause everyone and everything I love to fell apart. Close and friends and family, everyone just dies on me. I'm supposed to deal with this, I can barely sign a shit. Life is like a nightmare every day. Rapid moves, switches moves, just like my switchblade. It's gonna make you see, I can't fucking do this shit. This feels like psychosis. It hurts the most at home. All this could have been prevented if anyone listened to me, if anyone came from. But now it's too late to start getting, I'm already dead stuck. It's just a matter of time before I won't die. It could happen any second. Still I ain't telling a lie, just keeping it real. Every day I'm shaking and stressing, anxiety bringing the worst out of me. The numbness is bringing the worst out of me. So I'm gonna make sure that this is known before I dissipate permanently.
Mistaken normalcy that seeks to restrict his usage of the opioid to a social activity, but soon enough he drifts towards a regular recreational use, indulging on weekends, floating, flying and soaring in wonderful ripples of pure delight, feeling very mellow and satisfied, in an illusionary paradise of forgetting where nothing hurts anymore. Bit by bit as time goes by, his body builds up a tolerance for the sedative. His intake of higher and more frequent doses to feel as well as to sustain the desired effect. This occurs because his body attempts to adapt to the presence of the drug by quickly breaking it up and purging it out of the system, thus causing it to be less potent as it was before. At this stage of his drug abuse, he's still able to control whether to use the stuff or not, where and when to use it without stress. He could also abstain from the opioid very responsibly, but at the limits of his body's flexible response to the mind blower, he begins to suffer from the terrifying side effects of the narcotic, which show up a few hours after his last use. The pleasurable but short-term therapeutic effects of the insidious drug is now being overshadowed by several of its undesirable withdrawal symptoms that manifest as fatigue, irritability, cold chills, sweat, itchy skin, muscle spasms and tremors, body aches, and stomach cramps, among others, with an increase in his body's craving for the opioid. The onset of these torturous side effects of the stimulant marks the beginning of his body's physical dependence on it, as he now relies on the drug to fend off the terrible affliction that has been ingrained in his mind from the very race starts. He has bitten at the bait of pleasure, oblivious of the hook beneath it. The casual user who thought he could quit the habit at will, without stress, has progressed to problematic abuse. The drug is now a major part of his daily routine that is slowly becoming chaotic by the day. Regardless, he's still able to go to work and take care of his day-to-day responsibilities. In time, a new sickness begins to fester inside him. The insidious drug is tightening its grip as his body's physical dependence on it is now generating an addiction. This physiological dependence on the drug has set in with an anxiety disorder accompanied by emotional, mental, and behavioral problems. The trio classic signs of a progressive disorder. The drug has become something he needs. Sleep to fully wake up. His sleeping pattern has also been altered. Up at night and intermittently napping during the day. As dosage of the narcotic rises, so does the severity of the painful lows and other symptoms of addiction, making his cravings for the depressant and stimulant increasingly more intense. As it is, you need several hits of the drug to make it through the day. All at once he wants to use. He begins to look forward to using. He would ingest the drugs in risky situations. At times he skipped work, chasing the dragon, pursuing the out-of-reach elation levels of his initial euphoric high, swinging between feelings of mediocrity and that of ecstasy. Always, his body would afterwards crash below baseline, barely able to cater for his daily needs. The habit has long ceased to be the fun that it was intended to be. Like a vicious cycle, the relief from the drug, which is not justified by eternal reality, is being obtained at the expense of the worsening addiction and a spike in distress whenever his body system is low on it. The more he indulges on the depressant to calm his racing mind, the more its comfort zone seems to be desired. Disoriented in the rigors of his vice, he strays in the abyss of drug addiction, a dark, weary place where priority disorder is dictated by events outside of his control. This corrupted impulse control that causes a sick obsession with the opium, rendering him unfit to articulate rational thoughts, chronic brain disorder. In this harmful shift away from reality, utmost in his mind is the insidious drug, ahead of his job, his goals, family, love, friends, hobbies, personal hygiene. Oddly enough, the foremost essentials of life like water, food, and sleep are not spared. He could be ill and he won't care. No other thoughts can cohabit in his world. Emotionally invested in his world of fantasy, the toxic substance has kindled in him an inner turmoil, sending off an overriding feeling of emptiness that aches in his heart. The habit much harder to lose than it was to find. His ongoing attempts to wean himself off the drug are negated by a dysphoric mood and sickly come-downs that intensify in severity. These horrifying withdrawal symptoms are a result of the sedatives-induced alterations in the biochemistry of his brain system of reward and punishment, rather than a mild, blissful flow of the brain's happy hormones as is experienced while one indulges in a tasty food. On receiving a great news or engaging in any other act of novelty that fills us with a delicious pleasure. The opioid, whose chemical structure is similar to that of the natural chemical messengers to the brain, by mimicking these primary drivers of the brain's reward system, psychoactive drug sends a false signal of euphoria to the complex organ, triggering an instant and quick secretion of an abnormally large amount of the feel-good hormones that surge along its pleasure pathways, overwhelming the reward center of the brain. It is the huge outpouring of happy hormones in the region that elicits in a sudden bursts of energy, a pleasant state of mind, drowsiness, mental alertness, relaxation, utterly incapable of rising from the ashes to hold it all together. No hope, nothing to hope for, everything out of focus. mind spiraling out of control. In a fit of extreme anxiety, the now rampaging urge to use brought him closer and closer to the brink of a nervous breakdown. And suddenly, his need for a hit becomes most vitalized. Sweating profusely and trembling, all over with fear, clutching a pilfered smartphone, forgetful of future suffering. The rehab jumper hurries along the forbidden path, all alone with the merciless companion, nowhere to go and no one to turn to, wretchedly wretched in addictive agony. The junkie fades away to nothingness and dissipates once and for all, finally.